Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Gates channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. Nicole and Kyle's brand new relationship may have only just become official, but their happy new chapter is already being shaken by an unexpected and unsettling development. After finally deciding to become exclusive, the two should be enjoying the excitement of taking their relationship to the next level, yet the latest spoilers for Tuesday, August 11th, suggest that happiness may be short-lived. Instead of getting the peaceful beginning they hope for, Nicole and Kyle are about to receive news that could force them to confront problems far bigger than anything they were prepared for. The details surrounding this troubling information remain unclear, leaving open the possibility that it could be connected to Nicole's complicated family drama or something happening much closer to home. Whatever the truth may be, this is the kind of news capable of changing the atmosphere between them in an instant, especially when their relationship is still so new. And if the situation turns out to involve Bill, Kial may suddenly find himself spending far more time around the Dupree family than he ever expected. Bill's situation is becoming even more alarming because he is back in the hospital once again, and this time there seems to be a frightening mystery surrounding what he is actually battling. Chelsea and Naomi had already feared that something like this could happen, particularly because Haley has been at Bill's side while his health continues to deteriorate. From their perspective, Haley was never someone they could completely trust to take care of their father, and their worst fears now appear to be unfolding before them. Bill is dealing with something that even they cannot identify, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty that makes his condition even more frightening. With no clear answers and the family already under enormous emotional pressure, Chelsea, Kat, Naomi, and Jacob will need one another more than ever. Rather than facing this crisis alone, the four will lean on each other for strength and support, trying to hold the family together while the mystery surrounding Bill's condition continues to deepen. But Bill's hospitalization is not the only problem waiting to explode, because the weekly teasers reveal that he has a request for Danny, and that request is enough to send Haley into a furious rage. There has to be a reason Bill feels compelled to turn to Danny for help instead of relying on his own wife, and whatever has pushed him toward that decision clearly carries more weight than a simple favor. For Haley, the situation is especially painful because every connection between Bill and Danny seems to remind her that the bond between them has never completely disappeared. The moment Bill reaches out to Danny, Haley is once again confronted with the reality that she may not have the control over Bill or his life that she wants. Her anger is likely to burn even hotter because this is not the first time she has been forced to watch Bill demonstrate just how connected he and Danny still are. And with Haley already enraged and surrounded by circumstances she cannot control, the terrifying question becomes whether her fury could eventually make her dangerous to the Duprees. As tensions rise around Bill and Haley, another family crisis is unfolding as Chelsea, Kat, Naomi, and Jacob continue to depend on one another. Their support for each other may become more important than ever as they try to navigate Bill's mysterious health problems while also dealing with the growing threat created by Haley's anger. Every new development seems to pull the Duprees deeper into a situation they cannot easily escape, and the uncertainty surrounding Bill only makes the family's fears more intense. There is also the unresolved question of what exactly Nicole and Kyle have been told, because the unsettling news arriving for the newly exclusive couple could connect their lives directly to the chaos surrounding Bill. If that happens, Kyle may have little choice but to become even more involved with the Duprees and their increasingly complicated family situation. What should have been a romantic new beginning could suddenly become a test of whether Nicole and Kyle can withstand the pressure created by circumstances beyond their control. Elsewhere, Vernon is demanding answers from Joey, suggesting that another confrontation is about to unfold as questions continue to hang over the situation. Whatever Joey knows, Vernon clearly wants the truth, and he does not appear willing to simply accept vague explanations or unanswered questions. The demand for answers adds another layer of tension to an already complicated day, especially as other characters are dealing with their own personal struggles. At the same time, Leslie is once again reaching out to someone who appears to be in need, continuing her search for an alliance that could strengthen her position. Leslie has repeatedly looked for someone willing to join forces with her, but so far, nobody has accepted her offer. Yet that could finally change if the person needing help turns out to be Haley, because the circumstances surrounding Bill may leave her more vulnerable than ever before. Mrs. Hamilton has already rejected Leslie's suggestions about forming an alliance more than once, refusing to accept the support Leslie has repeatedly offered. But circumstances have a way of changing people's minds, particularly when someone suddenly finds themselves facing a crisis they cannot handle alone. If Leslie's latest attempt is indeed directed toward Haley, this could be the moment when Haley finally decides to reverse her previous rejection and accept the alliance she once refused. With Bill in the hospital, Danny suddenly back in the picture, and her own anger threatening to overwhelm her, Haley may realize that having someone powerful in her corner could be exactly what she needs. Leslie, meanwhile, may see Haley's vulnerability as the perfect opportunity to finally secure the partnership she has been searching for all along. And sometimes when two people recognize the same hunger for control and survival in each other, they understand one another in a way that no one else can. That possibility makes the unfolding drama even more dangerous, because an alliance between Leslie and Haley could create a completely new force within the ongoing conflict. Haley may believe she is simply accepting help during one of the most difficult moments of her life, but Leslie is unlikely to offer her support without expecting something in return. With Bill's health uncertain, Danny becoming increasingly important, and the Dupree family already closing ranks around him, Haley could find herself standing at a crossroads. She can continue fighting her battles alone, or she can accept the hand Leslie has extended and enter an alliance that could dramatically change the balance of power. Meanwhile, Nicole and Kial are only beginning their journey together, unaware of how quickly unsettling news could drag them into the same storm. And as Vernon demands answers, Bill turns to Danny, Haley's rage grows, and Leslie searches for someone willing to stand beside her. Tuesday's drama promises to leave almost everyone facing a decision that could have consequences far beyond the moment. The situation surrounding Bill is only becoming more complicated, and as the family waits for answers, every unanswered question seems to create another reason for fear. Chelsea, Kat, Naomi, and Jacob may be doing everything they can to remain strong for one another, but the uncertainty surrounding Bill's condition is difficult to ignore. They already suspected that Haley might not be the person they could depend on when their father needed care, and now that Bill is back in the hospital, those concerns are becoming impossible to dismiss. The fact that no one seems to know exactly what Bill is battling only adds to the emotional pressure, leaving the family wondering what could happen next. At a time when they desperately need stability, they are instead facing one frightening development after another. And somewhere in the middle of all this uncertainty, Bill's decision to reach out to Danny could become the spark that turns an already tense family situation into something far more explosive. For Haley, Bill's request to Danny is likely to feel like another personal betrayal, even if Bill sees the situation very differently. She has repeatedly struggled with the undeniable connection between Bill and Danny, and every time that bond resurfaces, her anger becomes harder to contain. Now, with Bill in the hospital and apparently choosing Danny for help, Haley may feel as though she is being pushed aside at the exact moment when she believes she should be closest to her husband. Her emotions could quickly become overwhelming, especially if she believes Danny is once again gaining influence over Bill. What makes this even more dangerous is that Haley has already shown how intensely she reacts when she feels threatened or challenged. If her anger continues to grow, the Duprees may soon discover that Bill's medical crisis is only one part of the danger surrounding them. At the same time, Nicole and Kyle are facing their own uncertainty just as they begin to settle into their new relationship. Becoming exclusive should have been a moment filled with excitement, romance, and the promise of a fresh beginning, but instead they are being confronted with unsettling news almost immediately. The timing alone makes the development especially troubling because neither of them has had much opportunity to enjoy what their relationship could become. If the news is connected to Bill or the Dupree family, Kial could quickly find himself drawn into problems that have nothing to do with the romantic future he and Nicole were hoping to build. On the other hand, if the information involves Nicole's family drama, then Kyle may have to prove that he is ready to stand beside her when her personal life becomes complicated. Either way, their new relationship is about to be tested before it has even had a chance to fully settle. Elsewhere, Vernon's determination to get answers from Joey suggests that another secret may be close to coming into the light. Vernon is not simply asking questions out of curiosity. He appears determined to understand what has really been happening and why. Joey may have information that could explain the situation, but whether he is prepared to reveal everything remains another question entirely. The pressure is now building around him, and the harder Vernon pushes, the more difficult it may become for Joey to avoid the truth. In a world where alliances are constantly shifting and people are keeping secrets to protect themselves, one revelation could easily change everything. And while Vernon focuses on Joey, Leslie is quietly looking for an opportunity of her own. Leslie's search for an alliance has so far produced little success, but she has never seemed like someone willing to give up easily. She has already approached Mrs. Hamilton with suggestions of joining forces, only to have those offers rejected more than once. Yet Leslie continues watching the people around her, looking for someone whose circumstances might eventually make them more receptive to her proposal. Haley could now be exactly that person, especially if the pressure surrounding Bill leaves her feeling isolated and vulnerable. A woman who once refused Leslie's help may suddenly begin to see the value in having someone powerful standing beside her. If Haley does finally accept, Leslie could gain the alliance she has been waiting for, while Haley could gain the support she believes she desperately needs. But an alliance between these two women would hardly be harmless. Leslie understands how to recognize vulnerability, and Haley's current situation could make her particularly easy to approach. If Bill remains hospitalized, if Danny continues to play an important role in his life, and if the Duprees continue closing ranks around him, Haley may feel as though she is losing control of everything at once. Accepting Leslie's support could therefore seem like a practical decision, even if it carries consequences she cannot yet see. The phrase "game recognizes game" may prove especially fitting here because Leslie and Haley could recognize qualities in each other that make them both dangerous allies and potential threats. What begins as a simple offer of assistance could ultimately become a partnership capable of shifting the entire balance of power. And as all these stories continue moving toward one another, the emotional stakes become impossible to ignore. Bill's mysterious health crisis has the Duprees frightened. Danny's involvement is provoking Haley's fury. Nicole and Kyle are facing unsettling news at the very beginning of their exclusive relationship, and Vernon is demanding answers from Joey. Meanwhile, Leslie is still searching for the right person to join her, and Haley may finally be ready to accept the alliance she once rejected. Every character seems to be standing on the edge of a major decision, with trust, loyalty, family, and power hanging in the balance. The most dangerous part is that none of them may fully understand how closely their separate problems are beginning to connect. And when the truth finally starts coming out, the consequences could reach far beyond one hospital room, one relationship, or one alliance, setting the stage for even more explosive drama ahead.